Hello, team. Welcome to another weekly sales meeting. We have a great lineup today. I'm very excited for some of the people that are going to be featured on this lineup today for the very first time. Want to get started and talk about, the market as a whole before we get into, what's coming up here at the end of Q1. Rates are coming down. We know that's happening, but this is one of the key things is communications on the communicator. As loan originators, we want to make sure that we're bringing the bottom line information back to our communities, back to our sphere of influence. But we want to be, structured in the way that we're bringing this information back to them. We want to make sure that we're focused on the positive outcomes that is being driven by the current fluctuations in the market. Meaning, hey, we know there's been a couple bank failures. There's going to be an impact on the broader economy. Interest rates are coming down. That's a positive. Now, when I see people go on social media and they're talking about all the negatives, this could be a 2008, all these systemic things that are going to happen. What we're doing is we're creating a very negative narrative. First of all, we're speculating. Second of all, more than anything, we're not giving our expertise. We're not market analysts. We're not on CNBC. We're not on Fox Business. We're loan officers. We're mortgage professionals. We're focused on homeownership. And right now, regardless of what is driving it, the reality of the situation is rates are coming down, which is a big positive for homeowners and home buyers, people that are already been punished by rising rates over the last 6 months, 9 months or so, and are now getting some relief. They can go buy more home. They can get a cheaper payment. Like, there's so many positives, and the positives is what we have to focus on. There's plenty of other people that are going to focus on the negatives. It's our job to focus on the positives. Our communities, our home buyers, our agents, our partners all depend on us to do that. So that's number one. Now I want to talk about Q1. We're coming up on the end of the quarter already. Now it's kind of crazy. It feels like just yesterday we're preparing for Q1, going through December. We've got all of our goals dialed in. We've got all of our activities dialed in. We started sprinting early on in December to get ready for Q1. And here we are in Q1. We're knocking out of the ballpark, having a record quarter, having a record lock volume quarter, doubling our volume. Like, all these positive things are happening. But here we are, 15 days to go, and we're already sitting here focused on closing out the quarter in a record way. But going into Q2 with great momentum, and we truly do have great momentum. So what I want as a call to action for everybody is understand, like, hey, what are our learning lessons from Q1? Things got better quicker than we expected. Rates, improved. Lock volume increased, both at the macro and the micro level. Everybody's having a better quarter than they probably expected on December 31st. That's a good thing. Now let's go into Q2 and take that momentum. What are we going to do better? What are we going to stay focused on? What activities did we do in December to set us up for a great Q1? And are we doing those things now? Are we doing the open houses? Are we staying top of mind? Are we doing the presentations? These are all the opportunities to dominate. Just understand, like, right now, people are getting a little bit of relief with rates, and they feel like, 2023 could be potentially an okay year now. We were already dominating. We were already focused on making 2023 a great year. So don't take your foot off the gas pedal. We got to focus on doing what it takes to win. So with that said, I want to talk a little bit about, what being prepared to win. And this is a big one. And this is really something that, like, I see, the great loan officers and your okay loan officers. This is a separation. And the great loan officers understand that you got to do the stuff that's not fun to have great success. And what does that mean? So let's talk a little bit about the things that, hey, listen, they're not the things like getting a Scotsman Guide, ranking or being a top LO for the month or top of the leaderboard. Like, those are the fun things. Those are where everybody wants to, hold the trophy. Everybody wants to be on the top of the podium, right? But the reality of the situation is that the stuff that's not so fun is taking the loan applications, making sure we're doing our due diligence, making sure the loan application quality is excellent. We're re-verifying everything, going over the documents, making sure everything matches up. There's no errors. The client didn't finger anything. Like, we're doing the due diligence to make sure we set this file up for success. We're putting a good loan narrative in there. We're submitting a complete file. Like, we're going above and beyond. Again, that's not nobody's gonna, have an award for, best app taker ever. You only get it for being at the top of the leaderboard. But what you do get is you get credibility with your processors. You make sure your disclosures go out correctly and they get signed the first time versus maybe there was an error if you did it, not as high quality of a time. Like, all of these things matter, and all of these things add up over time. But what really matters, and this is the critical thing, is it's when you understand that the small details, the attention to detail that you put into everything you do, the habits that you create by doing it the best way every single time, the little things that aren't sexy, but doing it right, is what comes over time. Is like, this just becomes your reputation. You become the reputation. Your reputation becomes the person that's always on point, that does everything exactly the right way. Their loan applications are great. Their growth is great. Their clients love them. Their processors love them. And guess what? You've created an ecosystem where everybody's driving to help you be successful. And that's the key. This is part of the fundamentals that a lot of people want to put by the wayside. But at the end of the day, it's most important is, how well do you do the little things? How much do you care about the details? Because all of these details add up. Anybody that came to our Relationships Not Transactions Summit could see all of these little details. All of these little inches add up over the course of the first day, and then the second day. And then by the time they left, they said, oh man, this was a +1 experience. This was a raving fan experience. I am a raving fan of UMortgage. And that's how we have to be with all of our customers. When the customer gets the disclosures, whether they fat fingered something or not, if you didn't correct it and you had the opportunity to correct it, believe me, they're going to notice, well, hey, they don't have my dependents right. Well, you forgot to put it in there, but you could have corrected it. You could have had that follow-up conversation. Like these are the details that matter, guys. So I just want you to understand, like, this is the separator. It's the people that go the extra mile in everything they do. It's a standard, and it's a standard that we're obsessed over. So, I talk about it a lot. It's being obsessed over getting better. Like, there's a lot of things that, I could be really happy about right now. We could be happy we had a record month last month. We could be happy that we're going to double lock volume from last quarter. We could be happy that we brought on some great loan originators this week and this past month. Like, there's a lot to be happy about. What are we focused on? We're focused on getting better. We're focused on the feedback we got from our advisory council of our top LOs telling us all the different opportunities within our business that we can get better. That's what we focus on. That's what we're obsessed over, because we understand that, like, the industry, the standard is average. Actually, the industry standard is probably lower than average, right? Like, we don't want to be average. We don't want to be great. We want to be the best. We want to be the best ever. And in order to be the best ever, you got to do the little things well all the time. You got to have that +1 experience in every interaction. And you got to understand that anytime you think you've made it, there's somebody that's coming along that's going to pass you by. You can't be complacent. You can't take it down a notch. You can't relax. This is the game. And in this market, when you are exceptional, when you do those extra things, more people can see it, because the average people just kind of fall by the wayside. The exceptional people stand up and they're leading, they're winning. And that's exactly what we're doing here. But you got to be obsessed every single day. So, we don't say this at a high level. We practice what we preach. It's in every single thing that we do. So we tell you this because it's the winning formula. We don't tell you this because, like, hey, we want you to do it, but we're not doing it. It's like, this is what wins in all markets. So I'm going to hand it off to Dan Lourenco. I'll be back shortly.
Hey everybody, Dan from Denver here. Excited and honored to be part of the team today. And I'm going to share a little bit about the art of asking for business here in my style, right? Before I get started, quick love for this guy, Caden, right here. He's our guy behind the curtain. He's our digital media producer. If your company does not have one person that fits a role like that, that's a problem. And if you guys all love Caden as much as I do, then give him some love in the chat over here. But yeah, so my style with agents is very sort of calm and patient and calculated. I'm gonna move in more of like a dance, like dating, right? Like moving a slow kind of vibe like that. I'm gonna do my research. I'm not gonna ask anyone for business on day one. I feel like it's a little too early. It's too aggressive. You're asking someone a big commitment. Your goal is to be on their little value list of their roofers, their agents, their insurance agents, lenders, this and that, and just as much as they're going to be on your list too, because you're going to refer back to them. And so you want to make sure everyone is a good fit. You're not just referring out, a sibling to somebody when you haven't, built up trust or rapport with them yet. So it's a two-way street. So when I'm first getting in, I'm asking really important questions because, I want to get in a quick. Your time is limited. You're going to have so much time. And so I want to get in quick that, I am at the guy, I'm seasoned, I'm asking the right questions. I'm asking him, hey, who's your transaction coordinator? What are your, what instructions are good for the appraiser to be passed along? Questions that like most people don't ask, I think. Hey, notice you're in the mountains. Does this property have a private road agreement? Does it happen to be recorded? Have you looked into that yet? Just to avoid downstream stuff. If it's a condo, like, hey, Have you, you know, checked in inside of a master database yet? You should look into that before you call on the agent. Do you understand the difference of lot and block versus declarations? And maybe they're mismarketing the property and they're thinking now everybody it's a condo, which we all know has different interest rates. If it's something you can't find anything, then maybe just look up the feeder high school that goes to this school and talk about them and go, oh, it looks like this house is in Raptor territory, right? Or Google the agent's name and see if they're on like grocery carts or something, if somebody's tagged them or something. But my goal and my dance when I'm getting into meet and know people is really just to go, hey, I need to build trust. I need to prove that I'm accessible, that I follow up, I'm knowledgeable. And then we find this time later on where we're going to dance and I'm going to ask for business from them. And so give it a try. All styles of work, these ones work here and there. And so, yeah, my main call to action is just to take it deep. On your next listing agent, go crazy. The internet has so much information. Go deep on it. Find as much stuff as you can about the property and agent and call them and kind of go bananas with it. And then follow up and do like a little 4 or 5 step touch dance with agents and contacts on the deal and see how it goes. And so good luck. I know y'all are going to kill it.
Hey guys, this is Nash Paradise, Director of Sales with NXT Mortgage in the Dallas, Texas office. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about setting proper expectations. And since I have a weird one, I wanted to jump right into it. I do not answer my phone. And I know that's going to make some people feel sick when they hear it, but it's important to me. The reason being, when I'm doing something, talking to a client, talking to a realtor, working on financial docs, trying to get something fixed with my partners, they're going to get 100% of my attention all the time, every time. I'm going to do one thing all the way through until it's completed, to where that point when I know it's done, I don't have to think about it again. I don't have to go back to it. I don't have to check my work, because I know, hey, if I did it the right way all the way through. Now, setting that expectation for our partners can be very, very difficult. We feel often that, hey, if I don't answer my phone, you're going to go and call the next person. You're going to wait for someone else to pick up the phone. You're going to find someone who answers every single time. And while there are plenty of people who do that, there's plenty of my friends who do that. I just don't believe that that's the most effective way to work with people. So when I'm talking to my agent, I let them know, hey, this is the best way to reach me. If you want to have a chat, send a text. Tell me what you want to talk about. If it's a specific file, if you have a specific question, if there's an offer we need to discuss. And making sure they understand, hey, you're my next call. This is a huge priority, but I'm not going to call you from the school pickup line. I'm not going to call you while I'm waiting in the doctor's office. I'm not going to call you during my drive and my commute when I'm listening to music. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your clients. And it's frankly, it's me wanting to satiate that desire to handle it right now instead of when I'm at my best. I actually had a fortune cookie last night that really spoke to me and speaks directly to this. It's to give anything less than your best is to sacrifice the gift. And while it made me chuckle when I saw that and thinking about it and preparing for this, it just takes me back to, if we're not at our best, we're not at 100%, then why are we doing what we're doing? And if I can explain to my partners that, hey, I want to give you everything. I want to give your clients everything I can. I want to make sure they're getting that highest level of service, because I don't want to think that I've done my job and have missed something and, have to come back and redo it. I don't want to, have you have questions on your client and me not be in their file to be able to answer them and give you one answer one time. If I have to come back and get more answers, it's fine, but I need to be the best prepared I can be for that experience in that moment. The trick there is I have to set that up front. I've got to get buy-in. We definitely need to be either sitting down, having coffee, or on the phone. And when I'm talking through, this is how I work, this is the most effective way to use me, I need that buy-in. Communication is a two-way street. I can't just say, hey, I insist that you only communicate with me this way. I don't have that much leverage, but I will explain, this is why I use this as a communication method, because it is important to me to always be giving 100%. So far, no one has had an issue with that. No one's balked. In fact, I think a lot of my partners, a lot of my agents, a lot of my title reps, they've gone to doing the same thing. They do one job, one task all the way through because it's a more efficient use of their time. So helping to coach and guide people, because this is what works best for me, it also goes a long way for them managing their jobs, managing their day, trying to reduce the amount of times they jump between tasks, which is why I insist on doing this. With any kind of expectations, though, they have to be clear. They have to be concise, they have to be communicated, and both parties need to buy in. So when you figure out what your non-negotiables are, what kind of expectations you need to set with your partners, make sure it's clear, but make sure you get that early. And where a lot of people stop is they don't ask, is this good with you? Are you cool with this? Can you buy into this? Can we hold each other accountable to do things this way so we can grow together? And when you ask that, you can do anything. You can ask for just about anything. People who want to work with you will want to work with you at your very best. So let's give them our best every single time.
Hey guys, Jimmy Hobson here. Excited to be again on sales meeting and talk to you about some stuff that we've got coming. So one of the things I've been asked to teach about and talk about is Google My Business training. So on the 28th of March at 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be doing training. That training is available for you, the LO that works here, for you, the LO that's watching this, obviously on LinkedIn right now, and for all your real estate partners, financial planners, and frankly, any business can benefit from this. So what's the advantage of Google? Well, when I look for something, a product or service, the first thing I do is put it into Google, okay? And that's pretty much everything else. We're getting more digital every single day. So everybody searching for something always goes to Google and always goes to read reviews. I'm fortunate to have amazing clients where I have 202 currently 5-star reviews. I'm always asking for more. I need to do a better job, frankly. I should probably have double that. But we're going to talk about the whys. We're going to talk about why it's good to be known, how you can be the mayor of your own city, right? You can be the mayor of wherever you reside. The key is to get a presence on Google. So we're going to walk through how to set up a Google profile, okay? The nuts and bolts. Now, after the fact, you're going to get a PDF. Reach out to whoever brought you onto the training. They'll get you that PDF to walk you through it again. But we're going to walk you through how to set it up, how to build it, how to make sure you hit your analytics, and then keep driving it forward. Reviews are gold. It's free, free, free. Can't say free enough advertising. So just like social media, Google is paramount. When you Google me, you'll see Jimmy Hobson. You'll see my Google presence. You'll see my Google listing. You'll see my Facebook, my LinkedIn. Social is what matters. Google is the key to all that in the beginning. The more reviews you get, the more people are going to be able to see your stuff, the more they're going to put it in front of you. You want to make sure you put pictures up. You want to make sure you do that. We offer this as a free training. Part of our community is UMortgage is to make sure we support every single one of our LOs. So if any of you know me, you know I do a lot of trainings. I've done this. I've done VA trainings. I've done all kinds. Google's huge. It's been huge to my business. When I worked for home for 2 years with COVID, literally I got calls all the time off of Google because no one wanted to drive around or do anything. You know, it's the best free advertising you can get. You've got to monetize it though. You've got to ask for reviews. You've got to build that profile out. You've got to add pictures, closing pictures, picture of your office, you know, whatever it may look like. I'll throw funny stuff up there too, just not super political or religious, obviously, because that doesn't work. But we're here to support each other. So I'm going to teach this class 28th of March, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to make sure we walk you through the nuts and bolts from the beginning to the back end for you to ask any questions. There's plenty of people that work here that will likely be on the call and can also answer questions for you. I'm by no means an expert. You know, I'm not Sergey. I didn't build Google or start it. However, I can show you what I've done that's worked for me to help grow this platform and make it work. So enjoy the rest of the sales meeting. Appreciate your time. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. But we're good to go. Talk to you soon.
Hi everyone, it's Kristen Morgan with There's No Place Like Home Mortgage Team, and today I was invited to talk a little bit about how I can create an exclusive feeling for my events. And so I just want to share some tidbits and information in regards to how I do that. First and foremost, really stepping into a space where you can be authentically yourself is the very first thing. I never put myself in situations when I'm hosting an event or calling people into my space to teach them something. I never do anything that is not going to be of somewhere where I can stand in my power. So having all of these details worked out and being able to work through some of the things that I know I want to use to make an impact are just key when you're planning an event. So I want to share something really cool that we did that I haven't actually posted anywhere, but I'm going to share this with you guys. Recently, we taught a class on credit and the home buying process. And at the end of that class, I gave everyone a skeleton key. And we did key commitments. And there's a reason I'm telling you guys this, is because in that moment, a lot of times when people are stepping into the home buying process, they're just so unsure. And especially when you don't know what it is that you need to be doing, you need steps and goals and plans. And so my call to action was giving people these skeleton keys that they could exchange for a key to their home by following the plan and being committed to being a homeowner. And so think about how that made people feel. I know how it made me feel to facilitate that, but it gives people purpose. And so when I do events, the number one thing, my number one objective is, one, for people to feel welcome, but also to give them something to work towards, or to allow them to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And so I really do truly believe that when you're working through those processes, like when you're doing an event, that those are some of the things you need to target. How can I make this genuine? How can I stand in my power? And how can I impact people to, put themselves in a position where they can have something good for themselves as well? So that's the first thing. Second thing, another thing that I'm focused on is that inside of those events, and when I'm building relationships, determining as quickly as possible what's going to be a good or bad relationship. And essentially my rule of thumb is always, I only want to work with people I can do life with. A lot of people don't understand that concept, but it's not enough for me to just say, hey, I work with this person and, oh, they're my partner. No, I want to be their friend. I want to be in their lives. I want to be able to know that if the going gets tough, they don't get going. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's really, really, really important when you're evaluating your relationships is, can you do life with these people? Are these people that if they didn't have a working relationship with you, would you want to be with them? But overall, I am going to be on the daily sales huddle tomorrow afternoon. And so I would love for you guys to join me, because we're going to dig deep into how I actually set up doing my events. But until then, I see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Kristen Morgan. This has been a great weekly sales meeting. I appreciate all the contributors this week. A couple things I want to hit on before we wrap up. Number one is on Thursday, March 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be hosting a live introduction to U-Shares meeting. Everybody is welcome throughout the entire organization. This is something we rolled out at the Relationship Not Transaction Summit. Tomorrow's session will be hosted by Tyler Hobson and Gil Arbitsman, our CFO. I'm going to go over all of the specific details of how you can enroll. What does participation mean? How can you exit? Like any specific question you can have, they're going to be prepared to answer. And it's going to be a great presentation. We've already had several dozen team members sign up since we announced this a couple weeks ago. We're really excited about adding this value to the organization. It's something that, at the end of the day, we're all working really hard to build something special. And we want everybody to benefit from the upside. We want everybody to benefit from the growth, from the value that we create, and more than anything for being a shareholder investor in UMortgage. So tomorrow, Thursday, March 16th at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The link will be in Workplace to register. Please make sure you attend. Next thing we announced last week, and obviously this has been picked up by a couple national media outlets here from a mortgage perspective. We're welcoming Ravi Patel and his team to UMortgage. So a couple things, this is the most important thing is, when a big loan originator, top 1% of the country loan originator, an established team, and a market leader joins UMortgage, it's a big deal because it shows that our platform is maturing. It shows credibility. One of the biggest things that a lot of retail loan originators deal with is they've been told and they've been conditioned for years by their leaders and their, all the different people that are making overrides on them on, how this model can't work and all the reasons why you got to stay with a big guy or you can't be successful. And this validation that Ravi is lending into this is he's showing, hey, listen, I've vetted this company. I've been talking to this company for several months. This wasn't a knee-jerk decision. We've been talking for 4 to 5 months, and I dotted all my I's. I crossed all my T's, and these guys check out. And not only that, I have friends that were already working here, and guess what? In a very short period of time, UMortgage in the Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky market has gone from, a company that was a fringe player from a market share perspective to a market share leader, and we're dominating, growing with the top loan originators in the country. So it's a big deal. We welcome Ravi with open arms, and we're growing together. We're a team. We're not, he's not just a branch coming on. Like, we're a team. We're a partnership. We're focused on how we grow together and we build the right culture there in the local market to go along with our national culture and community. So we welcome Ravi. Thank you for choosing UMortgage, and we're looking forward to a very long-term partnership. Last thing here, I want to talk about weekend warriors. I found myself in this situation that many loan originators and many real estate agents fall into on a weekend. Consumer calls you, they found a house. What do? They want to see it right now, right? You heard Nash talk a little bit about setting expectations. As this past weekend, I saw a house come up on the market. What I do, like, first thing, I'm like, okay, well, I want to see the house. I don't have a realtor. I don't have a loan originator because I haven't been looking around. And you know what? Let me call Nicole Peranio. She's, send me your app link. Let me get pre-approved. She refers me to a real estate agent. Within, 1 hour, I'm pre-approved and I'm seeing the house. Now, understand, I sat there for a second. I'm like, man, this is an emotional experience. Like, you see something you want, houses are going quickly. You're going to make that knee-jerk reaction. You're going to want to see it quickly. And this is a prime example of understanding how important it is to be available to your partners, how important it is to be using the Arrive Real Estate Agent Portal. So pre-approval accessibility, your agents can generate pre-approvals for their customers. Your customers can generate updated pre-approvals. Like, it's important. If you're not available, it's an emotional time. We already know all the headwinds that are going in the market with rates and volatility and all those good things. But like, at the end of the day, if a consumer's been looking around for 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, and that one house, that one community comes up and you're not available to, update their pre-approval, or if you're not available, to send them their initial pre-approval, they're going to move on to the next one. It's an easy decision. So we got to make sure we understand that the conditions, we got to make sure we understand the tools that we have available, our real estate agent portal, our customer portal. They can generate their own pre-approval. It's mobile based. Like, it's built to help you keep that balance and to not have to answer the phone on the weekends. But at the same time, when those opportunities come up, if you're not there, if you don't have clear expectations, if that borrower doesn't have somebody to speak to, you're going to miss that opportunity. So big shout out to all of our weekend warriors. It matters. It's an emotional decision. Home ownership is as tense as it's ever been. All this, talk about, hey, listen, rates have gone up and it's no longer, it's a seller's market or it's going to turn into a buyer's market. Like, that's not happening. Like, inventory is limited. There's somebody out there that's willing to pay for it. It might not be affordable for everybody, but there's somebody out there that's going to pay that premium. Home values are not going down, and it's important that we act with urgency. We're available, and we're making sure that we're leveraging the tools that we have at our fingertips to create the best client experience and the best partner experience. Have a great rest of the day, guys, and talk to you soon.